Well, good morning everybody. Backyard scrapping here, and look what we got. We got some sunshine. So it's actually pretty nice in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on these two things of contacts. Get them in some beakers and get them dissolved. Ebony says hello. And let me get this thing on the stand and grab what I'm going to need to get started on this stuff, and we'll get right back at you. Okay guys, we got pretty much everything set up. I brought the hot plate out because it's alright right now, but it may end up having to go later on in the evening or afternoon, and we may need a little bit of heat. So anyway, here's our smaller batch. These were the bigger ones. I've got enough acid out. Generally with silver you're looking at about 1.5 mils of nitric per gram of silver. I've got enough acid out in my beakers over here to do that, but it actually should take less because these are tungsten, so there's going to be a lot of metal remains. It's more like a really heavy plating on them, or I hope it is. Anyway, we'll see. But anyway, so it should take a little bit less, but I have enough to totally dissolve them if it was a total weight already out in my little plastic beakers that I like to pour my acid out of. So right now I'm going to go ahead and add my water, and I'm going to use about 170 mils in this one and about 400 in this one. Really, I can probably get away with even a little less. I'll probably do a little bit less than that. I think I'll do 350 in the big one. So there's two. Again, and this is distilled water. Actually, this is water from my dehumidifier. So we're going to go 350 on that one. So let me get a little bit more, which is actually a little acidic, but it's okay. So we're going to start with 350 in the big one. I'm going to put about 150 in the little one, and then we're going to start slowly adding our nitric acid. Can't really see the little one that well, but you'll be able to see the big one. And I'm using oversized beakers, mainly just because it spreads everything out across the bottom. You get you get more contact with the acid, contact on the contacts, So let me go ahead and get this ready. Let me flip the back fan on because we are definitely going to generate some NOx. So let me go do that right quick. And then we are going to go ahead and start adding our acid. Start the little one up first. And I'm going to put about that much. I'm getting an instant reaction. And I do love pouring acids out of these beakers. I hate pouring them out of the bottle. I mean, I got to pour it out of the bottle to get it in here, but once it's done out of that bottle, I like putting it away. I've said it a million times, I don't know why they can't make something that's so nasty like nitric acid and they put it in a bottle, that drips when you pour it. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense. Yet they'll make, whiskey bottles and syrup bottles and every other kind of bottle that doesn't drip, but not a nitric acid bottle. Alright, we're getting an instant reaction on this. We've already got some color on the little guy, that fast. So we are going to more or less just let this stuff rock and roll until we get all our silver out of it. So I'll leave it play for just a minute if you want to watch it. I'm going to stand here in the sunshine and enjoy it. Haven't had any for like almost a week. and we're going to get us some silver out of this. Yeah, we're just going to give you a little bit of a close-up on that, and I'll let this run for a bit, maybe time lapse it. So this battery's almost dead, so I'll just let it go till this battery's going out, and then I'll time lapse it, and we can watch bubbles go fast. So we'll talk to you again in just a little while. Okay guys, I just wanted to pop in for a second. It's been about 30 minutes, and I actually did just put a tiny little bit of heat on, because even though we do have some bright sunshine, the beakers were still fairly cool. It actually kicked this one up quite a bit. This is probably twice the volume, so it's going to take a little bit longer, but got a nice good even reaction going. Nothing's going crazy. So I'm just going to let this stuff sit, and I'll periodically check it, see if it needs more acid in it, and we'll just get back at you when all this stuff is gone into solution, or as much as we can get off of these tungsten contacts, and we'll start washing it up. Being that this is not a huge refine, it's going to be a little bit easier and a little bit faster. I'll probably go through the the rinsing and cleaning process with you, just to show you, because I don't think I've done that for a while. So anyway, when we get to that point, I'll get back with you and we will show you how that part's done. So we'll see you in a bit. Okay guys, it's been probably about an hour since we started. As you can see, these bigger contacts are much cleaner than the littler ones. We're still getting a pretty good reaction, so I'm just going to let it play until it slows down a little more. I actually just came out to check them, and I am glad I put them on the heat, because we're already in the shade, losing the sun, and it's already getting really cold back here. So anyway, we still got a good reaction going, so I'm not going to add any more acid just yet. I'm going to let it continue on, and I'll check them again in about another hour, and we will see if they need any acid. Okay guys, it has been about another hour, and our reactions have slowed down quite a bit. I actually just swirled them up. One thing about the tungstens, and I probably have never said it before, but when you're doing contacts and they're tungsten, there's a little powder that always comes off of them. I'm assuming it's just some of the tungsten, but it will lay down on top of those contacts, and it'll make it take a hell of a lot longer for it to dissolve, or it'll sometimes even slow the dissolve completely. These weren't doing anything when I came out here, or barely doing anything, and now you can see just by swirling that up and getting that powder off of the contacts, granted it goes into the solution and it'll settle back down on them again, but you still get, you keep dissolving stuff more and more. So I am going to put just a touch more nitric in these, and I'm going to just continue to let them go. So we'll check them again in about another hour. Okay guys, another hour has passed. This one has actually settled down a little bit. We're still getting a good reaction. I just swirled that one up and it kicked off the reaction a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more nitric in this one. It is starting to get really cold out here. See, that kicked it up, so we know we still have some active material in there. I'm going to put a little bit more distilled water in there, just in case, just a little bit. Give that silver somewhere to go. Swirl that one up again. Got a lot of powder, a lot of residue powder in the bottom of this one. So we'll swirl that one up. And I'm going to check these one more time. Probably in a little while, probably another hour, and then I mean, it's getting cold out here, and standing in front of this fan ain't helping. So we'll have to probably pick this up not tomorrow, but the next day, because I actually have to run to Silva tomorrow, so I won't be here. But anyhow, that one's starting to pick back up again after adding that little bit of acid. So we'll check it again in an hour, and then we'll get back on it the day after tomorrow. So we'll be back at you in just a little bit. Okay guys, it is almost dark. It is freezing. So I'm going to add a little bit more acid to these and shut them down and just leave them sit till I'm able to get out here and mess with them again. They're pretty stalled right now, so I don't think it'll hurt to put some in, just leave them sit. Alrighty guys, I am going to call it a night, and we'll see you back out here as soon as I can get out here again. Okay guys, well, naturally I had issues come up and had to go here and do that and there and do this, so it's been a few days once again. I did add a little bit more nitric to these and watched them for a second. I didn't see any reaction. So I am pretty sure we have all of our silver off of these contacts. I'm going to go ahead and filter these off and just hit them again with a little bit of nitric to see, you know, after I get this dust and stuff, this tungsten dust off of them. And we'll make sure there's nothing left on them. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and get the filtering process started and get ready to drop these. It is actually going to be very, very, very cold tonight. We don't have much sun out here today. It's cloudy, and it's supposed to snow again tonight. So I'm going to try and get as much of this done as I can before our bad weather moves in again. So anyway, I'll be back at you. I'm going to quit babbling. I'll be back at you in just a sec. Okay guys, we are set up to filter. I've got the vacuum hooked up just in case. I am going to do my best not to get silver nitrate on me. It seems that no matter what I do, gloves, no gloves, whatever, I always get it on me. But anyway, we've got quite a bit of dust in here. I believe it's that tungsten dust. So we got about, looks like about 450 milliliters of solution. I'm going to go ahead and start filtering this off, and we're probably going to need the vacuum when we get down to the bottom. That's why I have it on there. But let me go ahead and try and get as much of this off of here as I can so that I don't end up wearing it. And we'll get back at you when this is done. There's no point in making you sit here and watch that, because I'm only going to use the vacuum when I get down to the bottom. I'm going to let it go through slow, and that'll help put some sediment in that filter and that filter paper so that it'll catch the other sediment better. So anyway, when we get this filtered off, we're going to do, like I said, we're going to do this big one first. Then we'll do the little round guys separately, because I'm going to test each one of these separately to make sure we're not going to have a problem dropping it with copper. If we do, we'll have to drop it with salt water or HCl. But I'm going to go ahead and go through this filtering process. Like I said, this is the boring part. You don't need to see it. So we'll get back at you after both of these beakers have been filtered out. I am going to quickly test them again. just to make sure that we don't have any reaction left on those contacts that we got all the silver out of them. And my battery's going dead on this, so I got to change it out. So we'll be back at you when all that stuff is done. Okay guys, our filtering is done, and our water or our acids have been doubled, our nitric silver nitrate. It is getting freezing cold out here, so I am actually going to probably call this video now. And as cold as it is, and adding water to this, and you see how clear it still is, so that tells us that we got a really good filter, because we didn't even get a slight haze from doubling our volume. So for now, I'm just going to let these sit. I'm not going to try and drop this right now, because like I said, it's just getting too cold out here. It's getting too cold to work. So we will do the drop and probably our melt in the next video. So everybody take care, stay safe out there, and again, we will see you in the next video.